What's going on, man? Hopefully last video on this crappy Android tablet here. I'm going to try and make this kind of quick because the internet is still causing me fits, but I do have somebody coming out Monday, so hopefully starting next week I can go back to my iPhone and not have stupid internet problems. So let's get right into it. Week 14 had 3 lifts to show you. 340 triple on safety squat bar squat. Again, let me know how that looks to you. Let me know if you would rate that in RP7, if you'd be okay with me increasing weight. I did increase the weight to 345 this week, and it went pretty well. 515 triple on deadlift. There was some low back pain. As far as the low back goes, it's just kind of off and on. You know, some days it hurts, some days it doesn't. So that particular day it hurt. So glute is fine. It's, you know, off and on as well. But did 515 again today, actually. I just got back from the gym and crushed it with no pain. So hopefully 520 triple next week, which is absolutely insane. Or 520 double, whatever we have next week. Anyways, then a 355 triple on safety squat bar squat that freaking flew with the sleeves. Touch on the shoulder. It's getting better. So I went to the chiropractor and he said the same exact thing as the massage therapist said. So it's probably bicep tendon related, which makes sense to me as to why this is taking so long to heal, because it is a tendon and obviously no real, hardly any blood supply to it, and it's hard to get tendons to heal up. But he adjusted me head to toe, adjusted my shoulder. You know, he basically said the tendon's probably rubbing against the bones, get super inflamed, get super pissed off. He told me to ice it 2 times a day, 20 minutes at a time. I've been icing it 3 times a day, 20 minutes at a time. So the good news is I think we know what it is. I think it's bicep tendon. And I've been trying to, every time I go to the gym, been trying to just test it out. And honestly, the pain is getting less and less. Today, when I tried to get into a low bar position, was not bad at all. So, there was still pain, don't get me wrong. And, holding it there for a little while, I was like, oh boy, this doesn't feel good. But at the same time, it's getting better and it's progressing. So, as you know better than me, tendons just take a while to heal up if that's what it is. And I think that's probably what it is. So, other than icing 3 times a day, 20 minutes at a time, I've been doing, when I go to the gym, I do some rotator cuff work. And I've also been every night rolling out my T-spine, upper T-spine, rolling out my trap, rolling out my chest and my rear delt. Just trying to get everything in the area loosened up, and then rotator cuff work and icing. All right, to get to your video. So I just deleted my week 13 of training, so you won't see anything there. There's nothing to report. It was easy week. So I was wondering if you watched any of the Raw Nationals. I watched the 83 kgs or something, I think, with Russell Orhii and Sean Noriega. Man, Russell Orhii, dude, I thought for sure, I was like, damn, dude, they're calling him on depth 2 squats in a row, and then he hit in his 3rd attempt, he got it, and whew, baby, that was close. But just a freak. You talked about freaks in here. Yes, he is a freak, but yes, he works very, very hard. And then Sean Noriega, yeah, he's got that crazy wide stance. Just couldn't quite hit depth. But guys are just a bunch of freaks, man. Really, really strong. Watched the 93 kgs a little bit. Saw David Ricks, who I didn't know about until you mentioned him. Holy freaking crap. He's I think he might be 60 years old. It's freaking insane. I think he told 1,800. Or no, I don't know if he told 1,800. I had my notes. 1,800 is becoming a normal, which is crazy. The top 10, I think you needed between 1,760 and 1,770 to get in the top 10 of the 93 kgs, which is just, the sport has just blown up in the past 3 years, maybe 2-3 years. I mean, what was it, 2015? I'm guessing here that, other than Jesse Norris, 1,700 would have maybe put you second. I don't know. I can't really remember, but I just feel in the last 2-3 years, this sport has just gone crazy. People are seeing that they can do, I think, a lot more work, and if they don't get hurt, and you can do a bunch of work, you're going to get freaking ridiculously strong. So yeah. Anyways, so yes, I like your idea of doing safety squat bar on day 1 and then trying to low bar on day 2. That's going to be my goal. I don't think this week I'm going to be able to low bar, but I'm hoping in next week or the week after I'm going to be able to low bar on day 2. I feel like it's getting close, so bear with me. I am back to benching though this week. Benched 225 triple Tuesday and bench 230 double tempo board today. The 225, it hurt a little bit in my right shoulder, not my left, my right one, the one that's not injured. It was just my shoulders were just a little cranky. It just might have been that I haven't benched in a couple weeks, but today I had no pain, so hey, I'll take it. You mentioned like Mike Rizzatello recommends 2 straight days off rather than 2 24-hour days off separate, which is makes sense to me. It's kind of crazy that like 2 straight days off is better than train, day off, train, day off, train. Yeah, like 2 separate 24-hour splits. But yeah, I'm pumped to train 3 days a week. I think the extra recovery is going to be huge, especially for my shoulder, because I've always had shoulder problems. I've had shoulder problems since high school. Like, yeah, I've had crappy shoulders for a very long time. So, yeah, I mean, like I mentioned in my notes, like there's less time breaking down the muscle and more time recovering. I have 3 days of breaking down the muscle and now 4 days of recovering, which I think is big for me because I just seem to run into a lot of issues. What did I say? Oh, mention your desk sounds terrible. That you don't have the ergonomically friendly. I'm pretty sure mine's ergonomically friendly, and actually we're moving 5 minutes away from my house. No, we're moving from downtown, which is like a 30-minute drive, to literally, I live in Johnston, Iowa. Urbandale is a suburb that butts right into it. I'm literally going to be 5 minutes away, and we're going to have the sit-down stand-up desks, which I think is going to be a game changer for my hips. Because as of right now, I have to do like 2 30-minute yoga sessions a week in order to like really loosen up, or else I get really freaking tight. So that's going to be huge. I think I agree with you. Walking is huge. I do at least 2 10-minute walks, like deliberate 10-minute walks, and then I get up as much as I can to go fill up my water, go to the bathroom, just take a loop around. So you talked about your training philosophy. I haven't got a chance to look at your spreadsheet. I really want, or your spreadsheet, your PowerPoint presentation or your presentation. I really need to look at that. I kind of wrote down like some bullet points, like you mentioned, like some of the top ones were specificity, adherence, like discipline and consistency, and then laws, like the overload principle, the overcompensation, specificity. And those were kind of the 3 of the bigger ones that I kind of noted there. I thought it was crazy that you mentioned you lose gains at a third of the rate in which you gain them. That's absolutely crazy. Because I feel like when I don't lift, I just lose everything, but really it's not that bad. I feel like, I don't know if you said this, I can't remember if you said this or somebody else said it, like that when you come back, you're more so just maybe foreign to the movement a little bit. Like the strength is basically still there. It's just like the movement's a little bit foreign to you, and that's why it feels so heavy. I was kind of curious, you were talking about programming and stuff, and I was kind of curious what the variance is between a low volume client versus a high volume client. And I was kind of curious where I was on that scale. I would figure I'm on the lower side, but I was kind of curious on like what's your highest client volume, what's your lowest volume, meaning like sets and reps. So it's kind of more so what I'm talking about. Like, do some people squat 4 times a week, like 5 sets each time? Like, I'm just kind of curious the what you have and what the norm is, I guess, too. I was kind of wondering too, your idea on, like, I've kind of noticed in powerlifting, is this a true fact? The more you can do, the more you can do that you can recover from, the better. I'm kind of curious if that is a law or a principle or something that is true. Is the more that you can do that you can recover from, the better off you'll be. Maybe just the short term, maybe the long term too. I don't really know, but it seems like a lot of programs, it seems like these days too, are just like you said, like the Chad Wesley Smith thing, where they just pound you and pound you and pound you, and like you said, if you can survive, you'll get a lot of gains. But I'm kind of curious if, I don't know, even what do you see from this? Like, this is kind of a newer, maybe-ish a newer thing that we're doing, that the this really high frequency, really high stress, like where do you think lifters will be 10, 15 years? Where will the Russ? Well, I don't know if Russ has a super high frequency program, but where you see some of these lifters being 10 to 15 years from now, if you see the longevity of powerlifting taking a hit because of people doing so much work, or if maybe I'm crazy and they're not actually doing as much work as I think they are, but kind of curious on that, if I'm making any sense. I also thought it was crazy that your neighbor can hear your deadlifts, and they got mad at you for that. Like, I'll have to watch for that. That's going to be interesting. I didn't even think that anybody could hear me. Like, that's crazy. You mentioned you Bulgarian split squat, 275 for sets of 8. That's just stupid. And you talked about genetics a little bit and freaks. I think I mentioned it earlier. And no, I totally agree with you. It's kind of people calling you a freak or something. It's kind of insulting a little bit, because it's like, sure, your floor might have been higher than some people's and your ceiling might be higher, but like, you have to still put in the freaking work. Like, all these guys have to put in the freaking work. Like, Russell Orhe puts in a lot of freaking work, and a lot of work that people don't see too. Like, what I've noticed with my own training is how much I have to do outside of the gym now. Like, I never had to, I mean, every night I have to roll out my glute, roll out my left glute, roll out my right glute, roll out my left erector, and now I'm having to roll out all my upper body and ice my shoulder and food and everything. And that's just me. Not even any type of elite athlete. And it's just crazy, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you have to do. The stronger you get, the more stuff you got to do outside of the gym, which is crazy. All right, this video is already on longer than I was thinking it would. Anyways, man, I will talk to you later. Hope you have a great week. Hope you're, let me know if you're back in training yet. Probably not, actually. Can't remember how long it took me before I got back after hernia. It was like 4 to 6 weeks, I think. So you're probably itching to get back. I think I know you mentioned that you ache and hurt more. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I feel like I ache and hurt more if I don't train, because I don't move as much, like you said. And you just kind of sit there and don't do anything, and things start to hurt. It's like I hurt more when I don't train than when I do train, which is stupid, weird. Anyways, that's all I got. I used your stress thing. Been using your stress thing, and also I weigh 209, and almost 210, which is good. You'll like that. So, all right, man. Talk to you later.